Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I see some in chat. Denise and Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Alicia. Do you say it with a E sound, Alicia or Alicia? Hi, Julia, Jessica, Melissa, and Dorothy. Nice to see you guys. All right, we'll kind of wait for everyone to join us. Let me know how your week's gone. Amanda, you were able to comment. Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Gander. I'll be proper. There we go, Mrs. Gander. Wait for people to join. All right, so I need your guys' input during this. Tell me any tips that you have for streamlining, especially when you have littles. Hey, Jen. I was reminded again this weekend of what it was like having little kids, and it was exhausting. Little kids without much help. Hi, Amber. My husband went to Ohio with Chloe, Allie, and Lana. And Abby and I and the boys and the two babies were at home. Hi, Jessica and KJV. And yesterday I was by myself when it came to dealing with the babies because all three of my teens are in music. So I was left to deal with the babies. I didn't even get to do any of my music yesterday because I just had to watch the babies. And I was exhausted by the end of the day. I'm like, oh, man, I depend on my kids a lot to help out with the kids. So, yeah. Chloe usually watches one or both babies during, choir practice and when I'm playing the flute or playing the piano because I alternate on what I do. Yes, that is a huge tip. I didn't even put that in my notes, but try to get them all on the same nap schedule. Jessica Goris said. That is for sure. Hey, Ronnie. So I was going to do this through Zoom tonight, and I decided not to just because I like this setup better. But I was going to show you some different things that I like online as far as helping you with different points that we're going to be talking about. It reminded me of that Clean With Me podcast because Ronnie does a podcast where I think you go over tips and stuff for cleaning, and she kind of talks while she's cleaning through some of them. So that's something that you can check out too, is her podcast. If you like to listen to podcasts while you're cleaning, that's the majority of the time that I get all my listening in to other things. I don't get as much of a chance to listen to stuff as much as I used to because I'm teaching piano. But that's when I kind of have videos playing and stuff when I'm getting ready in the morning or when I'm cleaning my room or something, I'll have stuff playing. So for sure. So Caleb doesn't nap still. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Amanda, you're going to be thrown for a loop at first. Oh, I'm sorry, Denise. That's a good idea, Jessica. She said, for my 3-year-old, I call it quiet time. He has to stay in his room and go quietly play or look at books, but he can't come out of the room. We did that actually when we had 3 little kids. They still talk about it because they still remember it. Every Sunday afternoon, we made them go to sleep or we made them take a nap. And sometimes they didn't fall asleep, but we made it a point that it was a rule they had to stay in their rooms until we let them come out. So it was, an hour or two. But we actually used to have Sunday afternoons where we would go home and nap. We don't have that anymore, but they still talk about it. They're like, we hated that. I'm like, oh, well, it was good for you. It's not going to kill them to have to lay quietly in their bed, look at books, learn to be quiet for a little bit. So definitely not going to kill them. But before I start, I wanted to take a point I totally forgot. I tried to do thank you notes if I got things from Amazon over Christmas time. But there were a few of you that sent me Christmas cards, sent me Amazon gift cards, and I wanted to thank you. I don't want to say your names in case you don't want them said, but you know who you are. So thank you very much. And there also is someone who from time to time will donate a little bit here and there through the Gently Led Sisters PayPal, which is really nice because I don't make money on Gently Led Sisters, and I actually spend a little bit of my own. Like for the slick text, it's $25 a month, and then I've got the website fee that's coming up, which is $150. That's coming up in the next week or two. So I think through monetization, I make maybe $200 a year. It's really low. It's not very much. So, and that only comes out like maybe every 5 months, it's made enough to roll into my account. So that will cover a few expenses, but there are some expenses with the show. So thank you for those that do donate towards that. I don't have a Patreon or anything like that. So I don't like asking for money, but I did want to acknowledge the ones that have. They know that there are expenses with it and they've helped contribute towards that. So thank you very much. That's very, very nice. Hello, Marissa. All right. Did I miss anyone? No. Okay. So thank you very much to the ones that did do that. It is appreciated. I do not overlook that. And it was a blessing. So thank you for all those Christmas gifts and baby gifts. When Hannah was born, there was a few of you that sent baby gifts. One present I got from Amazon, there was no name, but it was a really cute, like inflatable tummy time mat thing that she can play with. So I wanted to acknowledge you too before I forgot. So anyways, let's get into our show tonight. Believe it or not, I was actually more organized when I had little ones because I had to be. It was either be a little more organized or lose my mind. And as I've grown as a mom, I found several things to help me with life and streamlining things. Hello, Mrs. Funk from Florida, nursing a baby to sleep now. And then, I just had, like I said, I just had the 2 babies by myself this weekend. And I remembered how hard it is to have a lot of littles with very little helping hands. And I feel like the hardest for me was going from 2 to 3. And of course, I had 3 that were 3 and under, which our life was very crazy sometimes. And when we had 2, we each had a kid. But then when we added that 3rd one in the mix, it was really tough because we had to wrangle 3 that were 3 and under. Hey, Dalen. So that was probably the hardest time in my life as far as having littles. And I did a few things. I started implementing a few things back then I hate being stressed for time. I hate chaos. I hate feeling flustered. It makes me just break out in a cold sweat. I can't stand being late. So I started implementing some things in my life so I wouldn't be late, because being late is a big no-no in the McMurtry home. Anyone that knows McMurtry's knows being anything later than an hour early is late to us. So I can honestly say in our married life, there's not much that we've been late to, because being late is just a big, big no-no. There has to be major catastrophe for us to be late. So we're early for everything. And so there was different things I started implementing. One thing, and we're going to talk about this in the church part, but I have to get up at least 2 hours before we are going to be leaving, not before we have to be there before we're leaving. So if we're leaving an hour early, I have to be up 3 hours from the time that we're supposed to be there, because 2 hours seems to be my window for getting me ready, getting babies ready, drinking my coffee. That's super important to me. Getting if it's early in the morning, doing Bible reading, different things like that. So if I want to do all of that before I leave, it has to be at least 2 hours from the time that we're going to leave. So that's one important rule that I've always followed. So let's see. Jen said, my husband's family is late to everything, and they call it Bay Standard Time. Well, we call ours McMurtry time, and my kids joke because they're like, oh, it's McMurtry time, because we're an hour early for everything. So need advice on how to keep a 22-month-old quiet during church service. Well, my daughter just turned 24 months, and we're just now starting to do little bits of time where she's in there with us, and it's not going well. So that's pretty early to keep a baby quiet. I really don't start stressing out until about 3. By 3, I want them quiet and sitting through a church service. But anytime before then, it's just bonus if they're doing it. That's my personal timeline. So 22 months is really quiet. It's really young to keep a baby quiet. They don't really understand yet that they have to be quiet. You can practice at home, and I'll get into that a little bit later. I actually had that in my notes, but let's go over. I have, 6 things here. 6 different instances that you can learn to streamline in a little bit. Just some tips that I've done through the years. Okay, grocery shopping. So obviously that's a big deal for us moms, right? And my biggest tip is use pickup. seriously, that's been a game changer for me. I haven't been grocery shopping in, well, okay. Back at the beginning of COVID, I started doing this because I didn't want to deal with the whole mask thing. So that's been about a year now. Now I have gone in a few times to Aldi, actually, because Aldi, they're not mask Nazis at all. And so I've actually been in there, like at the beginning, if I couldn't get into pickup. And for a while when COVID first started, people were going nuts with the groceries. And so it was really hard to get a pickup slot for the Walmart pickup. So that's when I went to Aldi a few times. And I did that mainly because, like I said, they were fine with me not wearing a mask. They didn't kick me out or anything like that. But now that it's slowed down a little bit, I do Walmart pickup every week. It's been months since I've done grocery shopping, and I really think this is a life changer. Obviously, pickup has just become popular in the last couple of years. When I was a young mom, I've been a mom for almost 20 years now, almost 19 years now. He's 19 actually this week. So almost 19 years I've been a mom, and they didn't have this 19 years ago, obviously. So this is just recent. So all you young moms that are living in this day and age, you're really, really blessed. You're really lucky to be able to do that. So take advantage of Walmart pickup. If you live in a bigger city and you have other pickup options, I don't know, does anyone know if Aldi does pickup? I know they do delivery, but I don't think they have any pickup things, do they? Just let me know. Just let me know if they do. Let me look at the comments. 15 to 20 minutes at church is actually pretty good for a 24-month-old. I would love it if Kelly would sit that long. We usually make it about 5 right now, if we're lucky. One day, I think a couple weeks ago, she made it about 15 minutes. That's pretty impressive. It was during Sunday school. My husband was holding her because someone else is teaching it, so maybe that was why. But, oh, that's a good idea, Jen. She says, for church, I have quiet board books for my 16-month-old. I actually have tried books before. I also have notebooks they can doodle in. I still have to take her out and walk around with her here and there, but we've always sat in the back. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so Taylor says she picked up in Houston Aldi's. I live in rural country, so it's a lot smaller. They don't have pickup at mine. I wish they did, because I would totally do Aldi, because I love Aldi. Everyone that knows me knows I love Aldi, but I'm doing Walmart just because it's so much easier. But one thing I've always done with groceries is I kind of have like a loose routine, and I have a certain day that I do my shopping on, and I kind of stick to that unless we have a super busy week. That's one way to just kind of make your life a little easier. Is just kind of have a routine that the kids can expect, and you kind of stick to, and then rotate a main menu so you pretty much know what you're shopping for. When I had Lana, she's 6, so Abby would have only been 10, and Abby had been to Aldi with me so much that she knew what we got every week. So it was so cute because my husband doesn't do the grocery shopping. And he went in with Abby, and Abby was pushing the cart around, just sticking stuff in the cart. She knew what to do. And he said people were noticing it too, and they thought it was really cute because this 10-year-old knows exactly where to go, what to put in the cart, what we buy. So, Jen, I'm sorry you don't have an Aldi. I love Aldi. It's great. It's very good. Oh yeah, Dalen, that's funny because a lot of times I have actually not had a quarter. That panic when you drive into Aldi and you don't have a quarter, and I'm like looking in the cup holders and digging through my purse. And sometimes I've had to take out like 2 dimes and a nickel, and then I'll sit and I'll wait until I see someone going to put their cart back, and I'll like run out and give, a lot of times they're like, oh, don't worry about it. But I've had to go in for quarters before, and that stinks. So always have a hidden Aldi quarter. That is one thing I learned. I've never heard of Winco. Yes, we look under this. I'm looking under seats. I'm like looking under the floor mat for a quarter. Yeah, we've all been there. Now, try to go alone when you grocery shop. If you have to go with kids, this is one tip that I always did. I would put one in the thing. Aldi has the 2-seater, which is nice, but I would put a kid in here, and then when I had 4 or whatever, I'd have one stand on one side of the cart and hold on, and then the other stand on the other side of the cart and hold on. And I would say, don't let go of the cart, especially pushing it through the parking lot and everything. So, and they had to hold on to the cart the whole time. And that just cut down on a lot of just, them wandering off, them fighting with each other. They each had their side of the cart. So I did that a lot when I was younger with young kids. I just gave them each their own side of the cart and had them hold on. And that seemed to help a lot. But, if all else fails and you just don't feel like dealing with the stress of shopping, send your husband. Some husbands don't mind going. In fact, my mother-in-law told me when she had little kids all at home, my father-in-law would prefer to go. So he actually would go and do all the grocery shopping. So now she said, sometimes I would have just liked to gone, had him stay home with the kids and me go grocery shopping, but he would rather go grocery shopping than stay with the kids. Now, my husband would rather stay home with the kids and go grocery shopping. So, hey, Angeli, I'm glad you tuned in. But, yeah, let me see here. Nice. Yeah, Walmart does have carts that hold 3 kids. So, yeah, my husband hates shopping too so much. So he would rather be on kid care duty than going grocery shopping. But those are just some tips that I did. If you guys can think of any more, just go ahead and leave them in the chat. But how about when it comes to menu planning? I know menu planning is a big deal for people. I don't really menu plan. You can ask, Abby does. She's like queen of the kitchen, and she doesn't like giving up the kitchen very often. So she loves cooking, and she does most of the cooking. She just loves it. And if she loves it, that's fine. And so a lot of times we'll be like, what are we going to make? So what we do is we get just the main meat. Okay, we'll get I usually only get about 1 roll of hamburger meat. We eat a lot of chicken and a lot of pork because it's cheaper. So I'll get basically the same thing like I was talking about with groceries. We kind of get the same basic things all the time, and we build our meals around that. So I'll get all the chicken tenderloins, the chicken thighs, pork chops, pork roasts. I do a lot. They're a lot cheaper than the beef roasts. And then I do a roll of hamburger, a roll of turkey, and then we build our meals around that. We almost always have tacos every week. I don't know who else has tacos every week. We almost always have tacos every week. That's our go-to. I never get sick of them. The whole family loves tacos, which when you find a recipe that the whole family likes, you stick with it. We almost always have one meal that's a breakfast meal for supper. I know that's breakfast meals go far and they feed a lot of people. So we'll do biscuits and gravy with fried eggs. We'll do pancakes and sausage links or pancakes and bacon. Oh, those are the other things I buy too with my main meat order is I buy sausage links and I buy bacon, and then I buy a roll of sausage too to make sausage biscuits and gravy. That's something that goes far and feeds a lot of people. So we do Taco Tuesday, Jen said. So we do a breakfast meal for supper almost every week. We do tacos. We do some kind of pork dish. As far as pork chops, we do like pork and gravy and potatoes and vegetable. We'll do that a lot. We don't do pasta very often because my husband hates pasta. So that's usually reserved for times when he's out of town. He hates spaghetti. So I love spaghetti. It's one of my favorite meals, but we don't have it very often. Maybe once every 2 months or 3 months or something like that. It's very, very rare. We do Mexican a lot. So let me see. Yeah, people are saying tacos every week, pizza every week. Yeah, we do. One easy way to make pizza is if you don't want to make it totally from scratch, but you want to have the homemade taste, is you buy the Rhodes frozen bread. It's the best. Rhodes makes the best bread. You buy the Rhodes and it comes in loaves, frozen loaves about that big, and there's 5 of them in a bag. Buy that, and then that makes pizza for our whole family. So we either do pizza bread, which is you let it rise all day, you roll it out, you put the toppings in the middle, and you roll it up. And then you kind of curve it into a C shape and you cook it like that. It's pizza bread, and then you can dip it in sauce. It's really good. Or I'll just roll it out completely and make homemade pizzas out of that. It makes really, really good bread dough. So they have super amazing cinnamon rolls. I get their cinnamon rolls all the time. for the bread dough. That's a way to streamline homemade pizza. If you want to make pizza at home, but you don't want to go through the whole thing of letting your dough rise and all that. So yeah, no pasta for him. I know. Nice. Ronnie, she said, I just made my first real meal plan tonight. I don't do that very often. I feel like even when I do, my husband will be like, what's for supper? And we'll say something. He's like, eh. So it's like he doesn't even want the meals that I've planned for those certain nights. So I kind of work around what he wants and what we're feeling like. So I've tried menu plans before and they just don't work with us very much. So, but yeah, find recipes that your family likes and rotate them, which we do. Invest in some good cookbooks to help. I know there's cookbooks out there that have, well, obviously one of my favorites is Mrs. Anderson's book, because she has like 8 weeks of meals in there. And we have some favorites of hers. So we'll just go through and pull it out. And Ronnie, in fact, one of them I think was your recipe. It was some kind of pasta that my husband will actually eat. It's the shrimp and chicken one, and it's got like butter and herb, like garlic and stuff in this sauce, and you put it over the pasta. He actually likes that one. So we will make that. It's with shrimp and chicken. So I think that's funny. But yeah, I like that she has a lot of really good recipes in there. And a lot of them are Instant Pot recipes. Like the chicken paprika one. That brings back fond memories for me because my grandma was full-blooded Hungarian. So a lot of the meals that Zsuzsanna makes are kind of Hungarian in nature. And so it brings back a lot of memories for me. I loved my grandma's chicken paprikash is what she would call it. But it was basically that. It was the chicken paprika. And I just loved it. And so it brings back a lot of good memories when I make that. So yeah, her pizza sauce is the spaghetti. I don't even know how to say the word. Yeah, it is amazing. So there's a lot of good recipes in there. There's other good cookbooks out there too that are made for busy moms. You know, invest in some of those if you want. Obviously, we have the internet and Google. It's really easy to pull up a recipe if we need one. Pinterest, things like that. But, you know, if you find a cookbook that you like, go ahead and invest in it. And I just bit my tongue. Invest in that. But start teaching your daughters young so they can eventually cook for the family. You know, Abby's always loved to be in the kitchen with me. And I know it's a pain when they're younger, letting them work alongside of you because they make bigger messes. It's slower. But it'll be worth it because when they get to be teenagers and they're cooking on their own, it makes your life so much easier. And I know a lot of you have little kids and it's hard to think that far ahead. But believe me, it's going to come and you will love it. So that is challenging to eat gluten-free. Abby is actually gluten-free, but she makes a lot of the meals for the family and then she'll modify it for herself. Like if she's making any kind of meat dish, then she'll leave some out for herself. And because she also doesn't like to eat dairy either. So she'll leave it out for herself and kind of modify it as she sees fit. So it works, but we don't all eat gluten-free, just she does. But remember that simplicity and healthy is the key. We're not going for gourmet meals here. We're not going for 5-course meals. Like I said, keep it simple. Obviously, if you're not able to afford a lot of meat and the extras, you're going to be doing a lot of carb-heavy diets, which would be the spaghetti or the pizza or the tacos. But you can make those healthier. You know, for the pizza, there are Joseph's lavish breads, which are lower carb, and you can make yourself a nice little pizza on a whole. It's like a whole, I don't know what they're called, but they're really good. I use them all the time when I am pregnant because I have the gestational diabetes. So use the lavish breads. And then, you know, for spaghetti, they have lower carb options like Dreamfield's pasta, which I love. And it's lower carb than the regular pastas. So there are ways around it where you can make things healthier. You know, for tacos, you could always make a big taco salad. That's a lot healthier than eating or buy the lower carb tortillas that you do. So yes, pinto beans and black beans, like they stretch things more. which is, good for bigger families. Jen and I both have a lot of kids, so that will stretch the meat. You can put it in there. Lentils are good. Rice is good. Beans and rice. Back when we were trying to go debt-free with Dave Ramsey, we ate a lot of beans and rice, and it took a long time after we were done paying off our debt for us to even want to look at beans and rice again. But that is good. You can dress it up, the beans and rice, with like salsa and cheese. That's what we did. I had a really good beans and rice recipe that I would make once a week. So we do burrito bowls a lot as well. And that is relatively, it's very healthy and it's relatively cheap. We do like some kind of meat, whether that's chicken or turkey taco meat or beef taco meat. And then you put it all together: beans, tomatoes, cheese, salsa, and then just throw it all together, lettuce. We do that a lot too. That's really good for a big family. And then work within your budget. Back when we first got married, I literally had $30 a week for groceries. I'm just shocked that I could even make that work. I mean, $30 is like a breakfast meal for my family now. But we had $30 and I had to make it work. And so I planned a lot of those very cheap meals, rice and bean. As much as my husband hated it, spaghetti, a lot of meatless meals. We ate pancakes a lot. We ate eggs a lot, but we made it work. But yeah, work within your budget, whatever that is. So if you have more, that's great. Yeah, baked potatoes would be good. Baked dried potatoes with broccoli. You could have like a baked potato bar, just load it up with all the good stuff. That's a good idea. So that's all stuff with menu planning. But how about going to church with littles? Okay, obviously my whole life revolves around church. So this is something that I am going to focus on because this is a high priority with me. And you know what? You prioritize what you want to prioritize in your life. You go where you want to go. You do what you want to do. So obviously for me, going to church is huge. My biggest tip for this is get everything done on Saturday. So try to kind of keep your Saturdays clear for the most part. Most of my Saturdays are pretty low key days. My husband's at the church all day. We don't do school on Saturdays. So it's very low key for me. So I do everything on Saturdays. If I don't, I regret it. And then I'm flustered on Sunday. No one likes showing up to church flustered. So when I especially had younger kids, I would lay out all their clothes. They would all take their baths on Saturday, all fresh and clean going to bed. And then I would lay out every single outfit in order from youngest to oldest on the couch. I'd lay it all out and down to the socks and shoes, because almost every Sunday, if I didn't, one shoe is missing all the time. And I need to get more organized because we still go through this with Kelly. The shoes come up missing like crazy in our house. Shoes and socks. I don't know where they go, but it's always just one shoe too. We always have one, or we have one sock, but it's missing. Yes, it's always the shoes. And then you're so flustered. Oh, I have actually, mom fail. I've had to buy my kids' shoes at Walmart on clearance on Sunday mornings before because we couldn't find the other shoe. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I've had to do that. And so when I'm not organized, I end up paying more. So yeah, lay out the clothes on Saturday. Plan the meals for Sunday on Saturday. Now, for me, we eat at the church every single Sunday. So we have a group chat for us ladies at church, and we all tell each other what we're bringing. So I'm always thinking about it, like first thing Saturday. Okay, what do we have in the house to make? What can we make? And then usually Abby will make it on Saturday. But don't ever leave that. Even when I used to eat it, well, when we were first married, we would eat at my mother-in-law's. She always had a big meal every Sunday, which was really nice. The whole family would come over after church, so I never had to worry about it. But then when we moved here, I had to worry about the meals, and we haven't eaten at the church except maybe the last year or two we've eaten at the church. So I would try to get everything done on Saturday, get it in the crock pot, and then just start the crock pot on Sunday morning. And I still try to do that for the most part. But use your crock pots, use your Instant Pots. That was another thing I meant on the menu planning and meals. Take advantage of those appliances and use them. Use them, use them, use them. But yeah, pack extra outfits in your bag because chances are something's going to happen at church. They're going to spill. They're going to have a blowout, whatever. Pack extra outfits on Saturday in your bag. Plan for 2 hours before departure to get ready. This is what I was talking about earlier. I always have to plan at least 2 hours. I usually try to get my shower and blow dry my hair on Saturday because that's a huge thing too. And then, just, I don't know how things are going to go with the baby. If you always have a baby, sometimes they want to eat at different times. Sometimes they're sleeping at different times. So you can't really, Sunday mornings are hard to plan around that. That's why I try to get ready real early and then have time to get her ready, feed her if I need to, different things like that. So Jen said, something that helps me a ton is having a Bible bag. It has all our Bibles, quiet activities, books, notebooks, diapers and wipes, applesauce pouch for the baby. Nice. Good idea. Yep. And Ronnie, even my Allie and Lana plan their clothes out Saturday night all the time. They actually put them on and they come out and they say, is this okay, Mom? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But what shoes are you wearing? What tights are you wearing? Where's your socks? Blah, blah, blah. I make sure that they have everything. Otherwise, it's chaos in the morning. It's horrible. Where Allie lost my shoe? It's always Allie because she's mental about cleaning her zone, which we're going to get to. And she's constantly like moving stuff that we have there. I just told her today because she did something with my boots and I couldn't find them and I need to leave. And I just told her she's not allowed to touch anything of mine because it comes up missing all the time. Drives me nuts. Oh man, Amber, how many times have their blowouts happened on me? A lot. Yep, Jessica, that's happened for sure. But yeah, having a bag for everything, packing it on Saturday, baths on Saturday, lay out your clothes too. How many times have we sat at the closet, going through our clothes and it takes us forever to pick out an outfit? Know what you're going to do too. I always try to have mine hung. Like figure out what I'm wearing and then hang it on my closet door. So it's right there for me to grab in the morning. Do an easy breakfast on Sunday. There is no shame. Almost every Sunday morning, I get McDonald's breakfast, whether that's oatmeal, whether that's, Egg McMuffin. There's no shame in going through drive-through on Sunday morning. We do very, very easy breakfast. That's really the only morning that I will do a drive-through breakfast like that. But I have to on Sunday mornings for sure. So, but you know what? Church is a priority no matter what, unless you're sick. That's just how it is in our house. Or, unless it's like blizzard outside or something, or, it's dangerous to go to church. It's a huge priority for us. So we get there no matter what. Even if we're a little bit frazzled, we get there. But these tips will help you not be as frazzled on Sunday mornings, that you don't go up to, get to church looking like you went through a tsunami or something. So I don't know why, Amber, they just hid your message where you said that boys can be super messy. Yep. Donuts. I mean, my husband gets Casey's donuts for the church every Sunday morning. And a lot of times that's what the kids eat is donuts. So yogurt or a smoothie. Yep. Hit the drive-through after church. Yeah, we here, so we don't have to do the drive-through after church, and then Sunday nights are super easy. We don't really even do meals. Most of the time we try to send the kids home. My husband and I will go through Culver's and we get the shrimp basket. Like every Sunday night we go through Culver's, we get the shrimp basket. That's kind of what we do. But the kids will go home and they'll just either eat leftovers, cereal, something easy, toast. It's very, very easy on Sundays. You have to keep it easy so you don't lose your mind. So I like to see that everyone else, yes, McDonald's can thank Baptist for Sunday morning income. It was funny because when COVID first started and all the churches shut down, we were going through McDonald's drive-through and it was super there was no one in line. And I said something about it to the guy. I was like, wow, you guys aren't very busy today. And he said, yeah, it's because all the churches are shut down. And I'm sitting there like in my church clothes and I'm thinking, don't report us. But yeah, he was like, yeah, it's because all the churches are shut down and no one's coming through drive-through because they're all at home. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm thinking, well, I'm coming through drive-through still, but you still have my business. So it's funny because the McDonald's workers even noticed on Sunday mornings that lots of people hit the drive-thru before church. So, and McDonald's is good coffee. I like their coffee. So Yeah, Little Caesars is good. We do a lot of pizza on Sundays. We have a Little Caesars here. I'm kind of sick of that, but we've got a Domino's in Dixon. We need to go there more often. So yeah, just easy, easy, easy. All right, so let's move on to, because I want to wrap this up in about 10, 15 minutes. Homeschooling. Let's go to homeschooling. So first thing is curriculum. If it's causing too much stress, switch. You do not want it to take over your entire life where that's all you think, eat, and breathe. I've taken an easier route this year. I say easier. It is Robinson curriculum for Chloe and Allie. They seem to enjoy it. It's 2 hours of reading. They do 2 hours of reading, a math lesson, and then we have like they're supposed to be doing their flashcards every day. I need to keep up on top of them because sometimes I feel like they sneak by if I don't ask them if they've done it. But I like it that reading is super important to me. Reading helps so much. It helps your grammar. It helps you learn how to spell. And then they do a writing essay every day as well. So I'm enjoying it this year. We'll see how it goes. I normally do ACE. I like ACE because it teaches them to be independent workers. And Lana is in a Becca video school, and I like that too. But if I feel like it's getting too stressful for her with all that they push, I scale it back a little. So you can scale it back if you want to with your kids. You can do as much or as little as you want them to do. So, oh, good. Congratulations, 6 million. Aw, she had a little boy. Do you mind saying what his name is and how much he weighed and all that? I would love to hear. Yes, Becca Academy is a lot. It is a very advanced academically, and I feel as if they do too much. So I actually scale it back quite a bit with Lana. And then on Mondays, I only have her do her papers. We do her papers together, and she reads a little to me. We do not do the videos on Monday because those take so much longer. Mondays are kind of our recuperating days from Sunday. Since we're at church all day on Sunday, we kind of rest on Mondays. That's a nice thing about homeschooling. But yeah, teach them to be independent learners. Have a schedule. They need to know what they are doing school every day, but be flexible. The nice thing about homeschooling is you can take a field trip to the orchard one day if you want. You can, let your kids go with your husband for the weekend, like they just did this past weekend, and get to go to a new church and meet, new people. And that's really good for them. It's good for them to learn to socially interact with people they don't know. So I think that's one of the reasons my kids have always been so outgoing. Anyone that knows all my kids knows how outgoing they are and how well they get along with people because they've always been around people. We've always gone to different churches, and I've had to learn to talk to new people and meet new people. So that's good too, as far as like social skills and things like that. So yeah, that's true, Alicia. From Sam's, I've never even looked into that. So yeah. The Becca is good. I like the way that their reading program. So Lana is finally a fluent reader. It did take her a little bit longer than my other kids. Maybe because the older I get, the less strict I get on them. So, but yeah, I've learned that, I don't know. I've learned that instilling character traits in your kid is more important than academic traits. So that's more of a priority with me, but every parent's different. So have a set place for supplies. This is one thing that I've got to get better about because every day I feel like someone's missing a pencil or an eraser or a ruler, and it drives me insane. So this is one thing that I have got to get drilled into my kid's head. I need to have a place where all that goes, and then it stays there so that they know where to go to get their stuff, and then they put it back when they're done. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I like that. She said we use library books for reading. My daughter didn't like to read the other stuff, so she wouldn't read, but she's doing so much better. Good to hear that. And then enlist the help of older kids once they grow up. Well, that's a nice thing. Once your kids learn, once you teach your kids, the first set of kids, I feel like I'm raising like 3 sets of kids right now. But once you raise that first set of kids and they're older, they can then help with math problems or whatever. Chloe was just helping Allie the other day with a math problem. So, they can then in turn help. And it's good for them because it teaches them how to explain things and how to teach and how to be patient and how to be calm, which I'm not the greatest at. So that's a good plus of homeschooling for sure. So those are just some ways to streamline that. But let's go to house cleaning. So one thing that I do in my home is every kid has an area that they keep clean. Every kid has a zone. Every kid has like a set of chores. So for instance, Jason takes out the garbage every Tuesday to the road, or he's supposed to. I have to remind him still. I feel like even though he's almost 18. But yeah, he takes the garbage out a lot. I have Abby's in the kitchen. She's like queen of the kitchen. Chloe does I think she does the schoolroom in her room. Allie does the bathroom in the living room. Lana, I need to be better about her. I just kind of give her little chores sometimes, like spraying down the walls and wiping them down, different things like that. But she needs to do a little bit more. She's only 6, so it's not a huge thing right now. But they all have their own zones, and like some of them are better about it than others. Allie and Abby are on top of it, and Allie is so much that she's a tyrant about it. She's like the living room Nazi. I'll be drinking a cup of tea and I'm sitting there nursing the baby, and if I walk away for 1 second, she will take my tea into the kitchen and put it on the counter. It's like I can't leave anything sitting out. I'm like, Allie, I'm using that. Allie, don't touch that. It can get a little annoying sometimes, but the living room's always clean. This past weekend when she was gone, we just let me and Abby just let Kelly destroy it the whole day, and then we cleaned it up like 1 time a day. So Allie would have been having a coronary because the living room was messy all day. So I always know when she's there or when she's not there. Yeah, Allie is funny. But it was so funny because my husband pulled in today and me and Abby were sitting in the living room, and I saw him pull up like, oh my goodness, they're back. And she's like, oh no, Allie's going to have a heart attack because the living room was messy. So Abby like started running around, like throwing everything, like cleaning really quick. And then she's like, she's going to come in. She's going to be all upset if it's not clean. So Allie walked in and we were just sitting there, and it was so funny because she was like, oh, wow, it's actually clean. But that was the first thing Allie said. That's the first thing she noticed. I knew she would. So if it would have been messy, she would have been having a panic attack. Oh, she's hilarious. But Allie also helps keep her and Lana share a room, and she helps keep that room clean. If it was just Lana, it would be bad. It would be really, really, really bad. So, and Abby is my nice, neat one, and she keeps the kitchen totally clean. Chloe's not, but Chloe shares a room with Kelly. So every now and then she just has to deep clean it. Allie is a clean freak. Lana is not. Lana's a messy. So, we all balance each other out. So that's funny. Yeah, it is normally the kids cleaning up quickly for when the parents get home. But this time it was me and Abby. We were like, oh, get it clean. And Allie is 10 and Lana is 6. So Allie's not your normal 10-year-old though. She's a very unique individual. How do I know what zones are best for what ages? They've just kind of grown into it. It wasn't until the last year or so that Abby really took over the kitchen, and she is very territorial about it. Like if I even step foot in the kitchen, she's like, Mom, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mom? I'll do it. And I'm like, sometimes I want to cook. And Abby's like, Mom, I got it, Mom. So she loves it. And just start out from the time they're younger. My boys, they always had chores growing up too, but now that they're, almost 19 and 18, they don't really do chores much around the home. They still deal with the trash, and they'll help my husband with projects around the house. But as far as actual house cleaning, they both work. So they're gone a lot of the time, so they don't do much around the house. So but they take care of the yard. In the summer, they do all the yard work. So that is one thing that they do. But yeah, I think you can kind of just kind of start assigning things to your kids and see how they do with it. And I don't know, with mine, I don't really have to push them to clean really very much. They just, I feel like they like living in a clean house. I don't know. Maybe that's not normal. I don't know. But I've always liked a clean house, and I've kind of always tried to keep it clean, and it's just kind of rubbed off on most of them. So they don't like living in a cluttered, messy house most of the time. So I don't know. Maybe that's normal. Maybe not. Like I said, I did a post today where I was talking about, a lot of our personalities are dependent on how we were raised. And my mom was a clean freak too. And she always really liked to clean house like every night before we went to bed. And I'm kind of the same way. It's nice to have a clean house before you go to bed, to wake up to that, even if it's not clean during the day. So, but yeah, there are little like templates online where it says what you should expect from each kid and kind of breaks down the ages. So you can look that up, Google it, and see, you know, kind of what are age appropriate chores. So I had shared one on here one time. So you definitely can look that up. Sarah said, my mom had to push really hard for us to clean. She was not a clean freak. Maybe, I don't know. My kids do a really good job keeping it clean. Now, obviously we have one day, Saturdays, where we try to get a lot of the more deep cleaning things done, whether that's spraying down the walls, wiping them down. And there are a lot of things in my house that get overlooked because the kids are the ones, you know, helping out, like spraying down cabinets. We don't do that a lot. Dusting, we don't do that a lot. Windows, but on the Saturdays, we do the nitty gritty stuff like that, the mopping and, you know, the scrubbing the toilets. We do all that on one main day. So that was another tip, is have one main day where you kind of do that type of stuff. I have a couple Norwex cloths, which are nice because the kids can just use those to do the windows. Those are nice and easy for kids to use. But yeah, so when you come to my house, it's not going to be spotless. There's going to be smudges on the windows. You know, there's going to be dirt on the floor. The baseboards aren't perfect, but we live there 24 hours a day. All of us homeschooling. It's a little house with a lot of people, but for the most part, most of the clutter's picked up. The floors are vacuumed. Allie's constantly vacuuming. So the floors are vacuumed, you know, not perfect because it's a 10-year-old doing it, but I don't strive for perfection. I strive for a level of clean that I can feel comfortable in, where I'm not grossed out by the house just being disgusting. You know, that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah. And Jen said she always starts with room chores when they're little, then work them into other ones as they master the room and get older. My littles love cleaning windows, vinegar, water spray. Nice. And then a few things every day. There are different sites with like Fly Lady. She does zone cleaning, I believe. Like, and I tried implementing that one time. I don't know. I just don't stick good to like things on paper. I don't know why. I just don't stick good to that. So it doesn't work for me, but it might work for you. I have a Motivated Moms app that I really like. But once again, I didn't stick to that either because I'm not the main one doing the cleaning. My kids are the ones doing the cleaning for the most part. I just direct. And there's nothing in the Bible against that. We are the keepers at home, which means we oversee the activities and we can delegate. So that's totally fine. And if you get to where you need to have a housekeeper to help you keep up with things and you can afford to pay for one, by all means do it. There's no shame in that. You know, take advantage of the appliances. I know a lot of people have those little vacuums that go around and suck everything up, especially if you have pets that with a lot of pet hair. That would be a great thing. You know, have one of those little robot vacuums. You know, do anything that helps make your life a little easier, you know, just do it. So, take advantage of appliances, train while cleaning. When I had little kids, I would play church for a little bit. I would stick them all on a cushion of the couch and I would tell them they had to stay there and be very quiet and not talk. And then I would vacuum the floor or I would dust or I would mop a room or something. And I found that the time it took me to do that job, they were really good during. And then just remember, a little screen time won't kill them. If you set them down on the couch and you need to get the room vacuumed real quick, you need to clean the living room, it's going to take you 15, 20 minutes. Let them watch a 15, 20-minute Cocomelon. It's not going to kill them. In fact, I've learned that Kelly has actually learned a lot from those stupid shows. She knows almost all our ABCs at 2. She knows how to count, you know, and they do a lot of that stuff in there. So it's not going to kill them. And then make cleaning a game when they're young. We just bought Kelly a little sweeping thing that she can help, you know, sweep while we're doing stuff, make it fun for them, show them how to spray. Spraying down walls is something my kids love doing. And like Jen said, her kids love cleaning windows. That's fun. I don't even mind doing that. So teach them how to do that. And then it gets, you know, your your house gets clean. Johnny, Johnny, Yes, Papa was actually the very first CoComelon song that she grew to love. She would say, I'm Papa, I'm Papa. She wanted to watch Papa. And she loved that one. And then that went into Baby Shark. She loved Baby Shark. Now she loves Minnie Mouse. She loves watching Minnie Mouse. There's this Minnie Mouse show on YouTube. I don't know. She watches it. So, I don't know. She's smart. So it's not making her brain dead by any means. I've never heard of Signing Time. I'll have to check it out. And then KJV said, I used index card system to keep up with chores, especially those not done often from sidetracked home executives. I've heard of that. I've heard that that's a cute book and it has a lot of helpful hints in it. So I know my husband always used to say, CoComelon's going to make her brain dead. But I think it like helped her vocabulary. She started saying stuff that we were like, whoa, she can sing almost the entire Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star song at 2. And she'll go through the house singing songs from CoComelon at 2, just turned 2 last week. So she has an incredible vocabulary. Anyone that knows her at church knows that she has a vocabulary that's phenomenal. And I think it's because of that show that she started watching at a year old. So I'm not against that. Do what you need to. Super Y, I've heard of that too. Yep, those shows do teach them a lot. So, and then let's go over real quickly trips, going on trips. So this is one trick that I have done in the past with little kids. I had a different outfit for each day, put in a gallon Ziploc bag and marked with the day that they were going to wear it. And then I would just grab it every day. That was really super helpful to me. Now that they're older, I don't have to do that as much. We also had a snack bag in the car or for the plane, whatever, and a game bag, something with fun things, kind of like Jen was talking about, a church bag. A game bag with different things that they only were allowed to play with on trips. That way they don't get bored of it or used to it or different things like that. So bye, Shara. So we used to always do that. And then one thing that I've done a lot is I pack a week ahead. I put all their clothes in there and then I rotate the clothes they have left until they leave. And then that way, that's just kind of cutting down on the laundry. I'm all packed. Most of my kids have enough clothes to where they have at least 2 weeks worth of clothes. So I can do that. So I will pack throughout the week as I'm doing laundry and, you know, I'll pack a week early. So that's another thing that can help trips go more smoothly. One thing that we do is we set out everything. We have everything packed the night before. We load up a lot of stuff. We set out the bags. We have them ready to be loaded up. But yeah, those are my main things that I've done with trips. Now that they're older, obviously, I don't do this as much because they don't need to be entertained as much. You know, the older kids have their phone that they can play on or whatever. So if you have any other tips, though, go ahead and leave them down below. But yeah, you guys were very interactive on the chat tonight. Sorry if I didn't see your comments. I'm trying to read as I'm doing it, but a lot of times I miss them. So let me see. Yes, Jessica, I go through the same thing. She said, I have a set place for stuff and they never put them back. I'm always telling them to put the pencils back in the pencil container so they won't be looking for them the next day. Doesn't that drive you insane? Oh, that is one of my pet peeves. And we're down to like, I bought a ton at the beginning of the school year and we're down to literally like one pencil for each kid. It's ridiculous. And then they're always looking. And then I know they haven't found one when I see Alana's doing her work and she's using a pen to do her work with, her math. She's working out her math with a pen. I'm like, Alana, oh, frustrating. Yes, that is super, super frustrating. But all right. So I think that's it. I'm sure Kelly's had a bottle by now, but that's okay. She's doing really well. We had a doctor's visit today. She's 11 pounds, 22.5 inches long. So she's right on the average for her weight for a 2-month-old. And she's smiling and cooing and she's nursing well. She's still like a frantic nurser. I think that's just her personality. But otherwise, she's just a very calm, happy baby. She's been pretty easy, no colic. I really can't complain. I'm beginning to learn her. She's beginning to learn me, learn about me. And she's definitely a lot less high-strung than Kelly was, which is good. I prayed for a less high-strung baby, and it's usually every other with mine, so I figured she would be. But so yeah, so everything's going well, and I'm back to teaching piano, and she's doing really well with that. So yep, everything is good. Life is good. And then if I can just survive until summer. I do not like winter very much. So not too much longer, though. We're almost into February. And by the end of February, beginning of March, you're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So I can't complain. Winter in Illinois this year has not been bad. So anyways, go ahead and like this video. Okay. And share, subscribe. Thanks, Taylor. This is natural curl. I reverted back to my natural curly hair for the last 2 days. So I don't like doing it natural curly very often because it is more work than when I just straighten it. But wow, Jen, that's crazy. No snow at their house. Thanks, Rachel. Yes, I teach piano online, Mabel. Thank you. And it's going really well. I took a break for 2 months and I didn't realize how much I would miss it. And yeah, I really enjoy having an outlet. But I've talked about that before to you moms. Obviously, when your kids are super little, there's not a lot of outlets you can have. But as they get older, it gets easier. And then you can pursue different interests and things that you want. So thanks, Teresa. Am I taking new students? I am so full. I have a very full schedule. I'm teaching 15 hours a week, actually 5 hours on 3 days. So I'm pretty full right now. I do have a waiting list, but you can email me at Church Mouse Piano Academy, churchmousepianoacademy@gmail.com, or go to my website. If you look up Church Mouse Piano Academy, that my website will come up so you can find out all the details there. So go ahead and email me if you want, and I will get you on a waiting list. Sometimes I do have people that have to drop out. I've had pretty much most very consistent students for the last year, though. So I pretty much had the same ones for an entire year. Not many have dropped out. So 6 years old is a very good age. By the time that they can read and they know their letters, that's a very, very good age to start them. I was 7 when I started, but I could have started earlier. 6 seems to be the golden age for learning finger and eye finger coordination, but I do have some that are younger at 5 that are able to do it. Jen actually has a daughter that is coordinated enough to play piano at 5. So it depends on the kid. Girls are usually more advanced than boys in this area. I've had boys that really, really struggle with it, but girls at 5 are actually a little more mature than boys at 5, I've found through my years of teaching piano. So, and we're kind of divulging into different subjects now, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And yep, like, share, email me if you have questions. If you have show topics that you want to go over, I have a guest next week. This is Nicole Shepard from church. We're going to be talking about herbs and different ways to use them when it comes to female stuff, hormones, pregnancy, postpartum. 2 weeks after that, I'm going to have Mrs. Holly Robinson on, and we're going to have the whole show, what people don't talk about postpartum. So she's going to join me for that. So that's going to be a good show too. So I'm excited. So we will see you guys next Monday. All right. Have a great week.